Hi, everyone. So far in our worry management series, we've talked about a number of characteristics of worry. We've talked about a definition of worry, we've talked about types of worry, and we've talked about a basic engine of worry. We've also talked about the fuel that drives this worry engine, which is intolerance of uncertainty. We've talked about how intolerance of uncertainty works and various manifestations of intolerance of uncertainty. And in our last video, we added another component to this model, and that's beliefs about the usefulness of worry. And the idea here is that one of the reasons why we worry so much is that we feel that the worry is serving some positive benefits, some usefulness. And as long as a person holds these beliefs, as long as a person believes that worry is serving some benefit, then of course the person's going to continue to worry so that they continue to get that benefit. And in our last video, we talked about 5 common worry beliefs. The idea that worry helps solve problems, that worry helps motivate a person, that worry can prevent bad things from happening, that worry can protect a person from future negative emotions, and that the act of worrying represents a positive personality characteristic. Now, in today's video, we're going to look at how worry beliefs relate to type 1 worries. And these are worries about actual, current, real problems, problems that actually exist in a person's life. And the most common worry beliefs that tend to relate to type 1 worries are the beliefs that worry helps with problem solving and that worry helps motivate a person. So, have you ever stopped to think about the connection between worrying and problem solving? For a lot of people who tend to worry a lot, they tend to hold a belief that worrying helps them solve or even avoid problems altogether. And at first, this may seem to make a little bit of sense because worrying can feel productive. It can heighten a person's vigilance to problems. Like if I'm obsessing over a work presentation, I may think that it's going to help me catch any mistakes before they happen. It can People believe that worry can help simulate preparedness, like replaying a bunch of what ifs about a tough conversation that I'm going to be having in order to plan my responses if the person says this or this. It can also create an illusion of control, as if worrying enough may actually prevent a disaster by helping me anticipate it and solve the problem ahead of time. But the critical question is, if worry truly worked that way, if worry really did help solve problems, wouldn't we all be better off worrying more? And so you probably can recognize that the answer is no. Worry doesn't really help us solve problems. And so, although it feels useful, that doesn't mean that it is useful. Because just because we believe something serves us doesn't make it true. The reality is, excessive worry doesn't solve problems, it masquerades as problem solving. And so, to challenge this belief, I often ask my clients some important questions. I'd encourage you to think about these questions if you hold the belief that worry helps you solve problems. So the first question is, am I solving problems or am I just mentally spinning my wheels? There's a big difference here between worry and problem solving. Worrying is a mental wheel spinning, looping through negative what ifs and worst case scenarios over and over and over again without actually making any progress. Real problem solving is action oriented. It means that you define the problem, that you brainstorm solutions, that you evaluate the options of solutions that you've come up with, and then you take concrete steps and implement those steps to solve the problem. It's a much more active process. So imagine that I'm anxious about a project deadline for work. My worrying would sound something like, what if I fail? What if my boss hates it? Whereas problem solving would sound more like, I'm going to break this down into smaller bits. I'm going to prioritize the hardest parts of it, and I'm going to ask for feedback from my boss early on. So it's a much different, more active form of engaging in the problem. Next thing you want to ask yourself is, do other people solve problems without all of this worrying? Are other people capable of problem solving without worrying excessively? Think about people in your life who handle challenges or problems calmly. If they're able to find solutions without excessive worrying, what that demonstrates is that worry isn't a prerequisite for problem solving. If they can solve problems without worrying excessively, you should be able to as well. And the third question you want to ask yourself is my worry helping or actually interfering or limiting my problem solving skills? Think about the mental skills and the mental tools that you need for effective problem solving: focus, creativity, being able to follow through. But think about what worry does to these cognitive functions. Worry actually undermines these skills. Worry can lead to anxiety, which makes it more difficult to focus or to attend when you need to be able to focus or attend really effectively. Worry narrows your thinking, making it difficult to think more creatively. And it tends to focus a belief on one perfect solution. And so it limits your potential for thinking about other solutions. Worry and anxiety can lead to feeling overwhelmed. And so that can often lead to procrastinating or avoiding dealing with the problem. Those are all things that interfere with problem solving. So worry is not the same as problem solving. It's a trap to think that. So the next time you catch yourself thinking, worry's helping me solve this problem, remember these three things. Worry is not the same as problem solving. If other people can solve problems without worrying, you can as well. And worry actually sabotages and undermines the cognitive tools and skills that you need to problem solve. So let's now turn our attention to this idea that worry helps motivate me. This is a common belief that if I worried less, wouldn't accomplish as much. I wouldn't be as motivated. I wouldn't be as driven to do things. This notion that worrying about something, whether it's a project at work, a household chore, or even a social engagement or a social commitment, the worrying serves as an internal push, a kick in the pants to take action and to do something about these things. The concern here is, if I stop worrying, will I become lazy? Will I become complacent? Will I stop being as engaged in things so that things will fall through the cracks? It's easy to see why people hold beliefs that worry motivates them. And if that was how worry worked, then worry should make a person more productive, more driven, and more successful. So if I told you that one way to boost your motivation would be to be worrying more than you already do, would that feel right to you? Would that make sense? Well, probably not, because deep down, we all kind of know that excessive worry doesn't fuel us. It doesn't fill our tank. It actually drains us. Just because we may believe that worry helps us perform, doesn't mean it actually does. In reality, excessive worry tends to do the opposite of motivating us. It leaves us feeling exhausted, feeling scattered, and feeling less capable of tackling the challenges in life that we're actually stressed about. And if you've spent years telling yourself in the background that worry is helping motivate me, worry is what keeps me productive, it can be difficult to actually break that assumption. And so in order to challenge or chip away at this belief that worry helps motivate a person, I want you to think about these questions. Do you know anyone who's highly productive, highly motivated, who doesn't consistently worry. Think about the most motivated people in your life, the people who consistently get things done. Do they operate in a state of nonstop worry and anxiety? Probably not. And so, if those people can achieve results without drowning in worry, what does that tell you? Well, it suggests that worry isn't a requirement for success. It's just a habit that we assume that we need to be motivated. The second question is, does worry actually improve your performance? When you're stuck in a cycle of worrying and what ifs, are you operating at your best? Or is your mind so cluttered with anxiety? Is it so racing on what ifs that it makes it difficult to focus, to problem solve, or even motivate yourself to get started on a task? Most people find that worry doesn't sharpen their skills, it actually undermines them. The third question you want to ask is, what is the real cost of all of that worry? Think about the physical and the mental impact that worry has on you. How does it affect your energy? How does it affect your concentration? How does it affect your memory? For most people, excessive worry leads to feeling tired, feeling exhausted, brain fog, and analysis paralysis. These are hardly the ingredients for peak performance and high levels of motivation and high levels of accomplishment. The thing is, worry doesn't exist by itself. It brings along anxiety. And so you want to think about what anxiety does to your motivation. Does anxiety help you work more effectively? Probably not. So the next time you catch yourself thinking, I need to worry about this or it won't get done, ask yourself, are there other people who are productive without worrying excessively? Does worry actually improve my performance? And what are the costs or the impact of me worrying, and how do they actually affect my motivation and productivity? The key benefit in recognizing and challenging these worry beliefs is that you don't let the worry convince yourself that it's helping. And so, in doing so, you don't let that worry or that worry gremlin keep telling you to keep worrying more. And so, in our next video, we're going to be talking about worry beliefs that relate to type 2 worries, which are worries about future or potential problems. And once I've posted that video, I'll put a link to it here. So that's all for today's video. As always, thank you for making it all the way to the end of this video, and I will see you in the next one.